Sir, I have to say, after having seen the first three episodes, I'm very like thrilled at the fact that you get to carry the whole season, the 9 episodes. But my question is, was that like exhilarating and daunting at the same time? Because I think only the Russo brothers have directed as much in terms of the MCU. So talk to me a little bit about getting to carry it through the whole season.
I mean, it's an absolute honor, and I have to say, as a director, it was the best challenge. You know, it's really the opportunity of a lifetime. And because when you are shooting the whole thing, you're not just doing it episode by episode. So no day was the same. You know, you'd be in the 50s in one day, the 70s on another, at a giant Marvel thing, action sequence on another day. And that kind of variety it's a huge challenge, and it was definitely logistically complicated. And we were always, trying to working as hard as we could, sort of 24/7. But it meant that, you never knew quite what to expect day to day. It was really fun.
How quickly did you knew that Paul and Elizabeth would work as a comedy duo? Because I think it's wonderful to see them retain the characters and then have them play in that context.
I mean, they're amazing. I've always been huge fans of theirs, and I didn't realize that they were such brilliant, skilled comedians. And I didn't really know what to expect. I knew they were talented and brilliant, and I knew they could basically do anything, but they continually surprised me, and man, did they make me laugh.
All right, so here I'm gonna tap down on a couple of landmines because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But like the homage to the classic American sitcoms, it's catnip to me because I grew up watching all of those. But
Yeah.
I'm really interested how you sort of thread the line. For example, my sons who are 14, they're very invested in the characters, but they have never seen I Love Lucy or Bewitched and all sort of. So if you talk about sort of balancing the gigantic audience that you have with a property like this and the challenge of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it certainly is a big swing. There are those people who are the Nick at Night fans, and those people who are the Marvel fans, and that Venn diagram may not overlap as much as you would think. But this is first and foremost, a, I think, a very well told story about something important, about characters that we love, and it will ultimately all add up. It's a brilliant little puzzle box, and I think that's the most important thing. So I think the mystery and where it's headed hopefully is enough for those Marvel fans, and they'll lean in and go for the ride and understand in retrospect how it all makes sense and how it all was kind of inevitable. That's my favorite kind of storytelling, is when you get to the end, it's surprising but inevitable, and you look back and go, of course, that's why it all worked. And I think that's there, and I think the people who love these old shows will also love the authenticity and the care that we took in bringing them to life, but we'll hopefully also find them funny and enjoyable. I mean, one of the things we learned from talking to Dick Van Dyke before we did it was that when they were working on that show, the sort of the governing principle was that if it couldn't happen in real life, it wouldn't happen on the show. And so that idea that we're pulling stories from our own life, and you can make them broad and funny, but they're true and they resonate. And I think that's one of the things we were really going for, is that people would relate to it and would feel like that's my family too.
So this one's kind of for me. I don't want to bore the people watching this interview to death with the technical stuff, but I mean, which one was more difficult to get in terms of the photography, the classic black and white? Because the color, when you go to color in the third episode, that color is so specific, the emulsion of it. So which one was harder to sort of capture on screen, the black and white or the color?
They were all really hard because they're all so specific, and like the difference between a 50s black and white and a 60s black and white is significant. The lensing, the lighting style, actually, and then how the grain, the film grain, all of that changes. We even had a wonderful laugh track expert who helped us understand the difference between how the laugh track evolved over time. And you really feel it, because in those, the Dick Van Dyke Show, that's a live audience. You're hearing a live reaction when you get to Bewitched, and that's a recording. And so there's going to be a sort of an inauthentic quality to that laugh track. And how do you match that? And how do you make sure that you're getting it? So we did everything we could. I mean, there were different challenges when we started doing our camera tests in black and white, and we had Paul Bettany and his makeup as Vision. We were like, this red makeup doesn't look very good. And he ended up being blue. He was blue in all of our black and white stuff. And that Vision looks best in black and white when his makeup is blue. So those are things that you wouldn't realize, but you have to really study. And every period, no matter how easy it might seem. It's like, oh, it's 50s. Come on, we're modern filmmakers. We can do that. No, really difficult. Each era was very, very challenging, but fun. And working out the palette, like you said, making sure that the red in the 70s is the right red. I mean, all of those things were important.
All right, sir, my time's up, but hats off. If I had a hat, I would take it off. You did a fantastic job. Stay healthy wherever you are. Thank you so much.
You too. Thank you.